Looking for anime MMORPG packed with real players, exciting battle, and endless adventures? In this video, we explore 11 standout mobile MMORPGs available on Android and iOS, featuring stunning world, cooperative rate, character progression, PvP action, and communities that remain active today. Top 11 best anime MMORPG mobile with massive player active on MMORPG games for Android iOS. We have a new Facebook fans page now. The name is GameMobile HDgraphic. Besides on YouTube, we will give an update on Facebook as well. A lot of amazing top list games will show up every day, so please check this out now. The link on the description and pinned comment. Mabinogi Mobile. This game will reach 1 million downloaders within a few months. Trust me, this game will break the other mobile game. From the visual and graphic, I would say it has a AAA MMORPG level. The game was adapted from the original PC version. The game comes with a very unique concept because it's telling us on how the fantasy life looks like. So it's not about fighting the monster only. Basically, the player will have a lot of freedom to doing some life activity, or we usually call it as a sandbox MMO, farming and cooking some food to add some buff, enhancing the item through the alchemy or enhancement system, gathering some resources for crafting a weapon, armor, potion, and food. Even we can play an instrument in a real time, so the player can gathering on the city to attend the live concert. What a perfect fantasy life is. The combat mechanism is an action hack and slash, and it has more dynamic in action because the hero can do some parrying action, counterattack, and slashing. With the rock, paper, scissors mechanism, it will easily introduce you about the basic combat base. To give an extra damage based on the enemies and heroes play a role, Mabinogi Mobile is the best new MMORPG game on mobile. Dragon Slayer Song. This game is really amazing. It's one of the best new MMORPG games on mobile that looks super attractive. The game runs extremely smooth and amazingly optimized on mobile platform. Even the game has been set on the highest graphic setting since we started the game. That's an indication if the developer is confident enough to represent the highest visualization for the first impression. Through this video, I am sure you will easily fall in love with the visual sharpnesses and how the character's outline is pretty clear. The game's combat mechanism is a hack and slash game. All of the action moveset seems so detailed. Even the player can easily notice how the weapon is wielding into the enemy. It has an autoplay base. All of the main quests and the side quests can be done by an auto. So it's kind of a casual MMORPG and it's pretty newbie friendly. Finally, the game has the English version now, but you need to download the game on a certain site. That I will put it on description. Dragon Slayer Song is a top MMORPG on Android. Norse Saga. This game is a new fantasy MMORPG that comes in on anime art style. The main gameplay is about a progression system where the player needs to power up the hero companion to participate on the PvP or clearing a boss raid features that we can do daily. There are 4 main jobs we actually can pick to start the journey, but the most interesting part is the player can make a dual class switching, so we don't have to create a new character. Besides, we can switch the player's playstyle based on the dual class switching that you are picking on. The game's combat mechanism will let the player dodge and release some active skill. The cooldown is the only indicator that you need to focus on. That's the reason why the player needs to maintain the positioning and timing to avoid the incoming attack from the monster or bosses. Basically, it's not pure auto battle base. The game's combat mechanism is a fantasy of Nordic and an adventure with the goddess of fate. The main storyline progress will run through any main quest. It has a PvP content, so we can play in a team up between 2 versus 2. This features is the best way to measure how strong you are in building your classes. Norse Saga is the best new MMORPG on Android and iOS. TOSM Extreme or Tree of Sapphire Mobile Extreme. I'm an MMORPG lover. Surely I know this legendary games franchise since the game released on PC. And now it has a new sequel that comes into a mobile platform with the exact gameplay and similar art style, which is one of the most interesting part. The visualization is pretty charming and aesthetic that no game has this animation level. The game's combat mechanism looks quite dynamic. We'll control some skill to fight against a bunch of monsters, even they will stand on a closer range between the monster. That is the great indication for grinding. Along the adventure, we'll have some companion that will help us to deal some damage into the enemy that we are targeting on. Of course, we can get a certain companion through gacha. Always clear the daily dungeon and never skip these features because it's pretty effective to get a rare gear, equipment, or any goods. If you love a charming character appearance in MMOs, surely this game will give you a fantastic costume and mount that looks pretty cool. Starlit Continent. This is a new anime MMORPG mobile that represents an amazing experience with an anime art style. Not many people know about it. It's because the game is not released yet on Play Store, and most of the time, a different site is the only provider to deliver it to mobile user, which is I will put the game's link on description. The game's combat mechanism is a real-time battle. It needs some reflex to avoid the incoming attack. For example, the jump action and also the dash action. We'll explore a beautiful world that called with Starlit. It's full of magnificent scenery with a grassland panorama. I love how clear and bright the game's ambience is. It's just a perfect alternative if you want to play a Genshin Impact in a light version. Play the game with the other player in a guild and make a party to participate in a huge event like a boss raid. The fashion or cosmetic skin are available to wear, and we can obtain it through the main story rewards and monster drop items on the co-op dungeon. Best anime MMORPG game Android. Hoyeon or Blade and Soul Heroes. This game was made by a Korean developer, but they make it become on anime style. While we are exploring the world map, we can easily navigate the main hero to move, attack, or use a certain skill. There is an important system we actually can do between the hero, which is to summon and release the skill. Overall, I really love how the graphic look like. It just looks so clear and clean, especially the UI. So the player will easily see the entire area much easier. It has a martial art fantasy base, just like a Blade and Soul ambience. The character design and how the building and environment is well on representing the martial art style. As I remember, it will be a cross-platform for PC and mobile. Lumina Saga. If you are looking for a cute anime MMORPG, then this game should be on your list. It has a refreshing character design with a cute and chibi character look. We can pick a different class with a male and female gender. They are Knight, Oracle, Assassin, and Mage classes. The 3 skill system will create a flexibility action for the player to maintain the build combination as the indication to create your main playstyle. The game is full of autoplay, which is for the quest, pathfinding, and also combat battle. We can even easily grind some equipment through the dungeon-based system by finding out the other player in a co-op mode. Kill the boss and test your luck to get a rare or a legendary equipment. Unfortunately, the developer are too fast on releasing the server, which is making the player feel like they are milking us. I really hope they will make a remake and be more wise in keeping the server number, so the newbie player will always come and get some more downloaders. Because this game has the potential to become the best MMORPG on Android and iOS. Iris Origin Mobile. This is a new MMORPG on mobile, but the game is in development now. I got a chance to try it before on the beta testing, and I love to see how the game is pretty good on optimization. It has an anime 3D character model. The main gameplay is focusing on the grinding base. The player can pick different characters with their own class, which are warrior, mage, assassin, archer, and priest. The main quest is to follow the main storyline. It has a real-time combat battle while we are fighting against the monster. The ultimate skill can be unleashed to deal massive damage, but the cooldown is taking too long, so we need to be way more wise in releasing it. Try to make a dodge to keep survive against the huge boss monster. If you are a player who prepare to play a casual MMORPG, I am sure this game will fit on you. Because the auto pathfinding and the auto battle will help you a lot on farming the material and grinding the level. It has a power base, which is the power will be a presentation to measure how strong your main hero is through the gear enhancement, skill level, mount, or pet. Iris Origin Mobile is the best new MMORPG on mobile. Blue Protocol Star Resonance, one of the most worthy MMORPG anime games on mobile that still exists until now. The number of player active is quite fanatic. A lot of fans and newbie players are trying to play it, and I'm sure they all will love to play it. It becomes a cross-platform game for mobile and PC. The game's visuals are absolutely amazing. It just represents a PC quality. A lot of action we can do while in the fighting, such as a dodge, combo, skill, and party. The world looks so impressive. The green grassland is perfectly blended with a mountain. We can pick a different role of DPS, tank or healer. It's because the player can switch the combat playstyle, so the hero can adjust a different build depending on the team's party needs. It has a massive world that we can explore. It's full of resources that we can collect and gather like a crystal, herb, and find out rare items in the new area. Unfortunately, the game source is the main aspect that we need to be concerned about, but trust me, it worked pretty well on even a mid-range phone spec. Ragnarok: The New World is a new brand MMORPG, but I don't know exactly what the fans of Ragnarok game will love it, or they have their own feedback, because we have already seen so many Ragnarok games on mobile that looks quite similar in some aspect. I'm sure you guys will feel the same as me, right? But I see a difference that will be the positive part if you want to start it, which is the game has more dynamic in combat. Basically, the positioning will take a crucial part to win the battle. The most important thing is we need to make a good team party, because the daily dungeon will need a different role to make the team's composition become balanced by adding a tanker, healer, or DPS class. Skyria Cloud Fantasia. I have seen this game before with the exact character design, and all of the characters' appearance seem the same, but the environment looks so different at all. Even the camera point of view is only able to see from the top-down view perspective. Honestly, I don't get any interest in this camera angle. I prefer to play the MMO with 360 degrees so everyone can do a free rotation and see the characters closer. As the player, it will help us fight to see the enemy's movement much closer, so we can make an anticipation by doing a dodge to survive. Honestly, I can't say a lot about it because the game feels so flat and I just don't get some interest with this perspective. Remember to like this video and see you on the next list. Thanks.